Hi guys, welcome to another podcast. We're going into Australia Grand Prix this weekend in Melbourne. And what do you expect? What are we going to be seeing? We're going to be seeing a lot of things, bringing up upgrades to Melbourne in Australia, and probably a lot of teams might be adding some bits to their engine, but it's still up for the year. From what we've heard, Mercedes gave their customer team a low powered engine. They used the major engine they wanted to use, tested it, and I think they're going to give their customer teams. Unfortunately, we knew Mercedes had reliability issues on the engine during the test. Probably they would have sorted that out. If they are still bringing the engine, I think they should have tested it with other teams. They have a lot of data on the engine to work with, but it's their choice. They don't want to put the teams in a position of uncomfortability. So now they are coming into the main race of the season with probably new engines, that's new power units, ICE, and also it will be much more upgraded, and I hope those teams will do well and Mercedes themselves will do well. So let's see how that will be. Hopefully Ferrari too will be juicing some things up from their engine. Other teams will be doing such, like Red Bull, because I noticed during the day 2 of the testing, when Red Bull engine was complimented, Red Bull just tuned down, and they'll tune up back. A lot of people have said it. Red Bull engine is the most powerful and probably the most reliable, so let's see how they work with that. So Honda engine, which is one of the major problematic occurrences we had all through the test. For me, I thought to be Williams. Williams always have had it bad, especially coming into most seasons. Sometimes we saw them coming into some seasons without extra chassis, but this season they could not come into Barcelona. Now they came into Bahrain, and since they came into Bahrain, they never looked back. It was a back-to-back churning of time, pushing the car to the limit, especially on the aerodynamic side. They really pushed their car to the limit, and we saw how the car performed. Getting extra juice from Mercedes could be handy for them, but unlike Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso on day 3 pushed the engine to the limit, just tried to rev it to 13 rpm and the engine blew up. Lance Stroll had a bad idea about how it's all going about the car and the engine, and for me, like I said in some shots a while ago, I said it that it's not just a problem of the engine, it's also a problem of the design. We knew Andre Newey had worked with Honda Power Unit in collaboration with Aston Martin. I knew it's going to be a big one, and I thought Honda would be able to calm down because they've understood Andre Newey before. They'll be able to work with him on the design, which is what Lawrence Stroll, the owner of Aston Martin, wanted. They wanted a project in which they can rely on, but unfortunately it's going to be a big ask. Like I said 2 years ago, it's going to be a big ask because they're starting from scratch. Honda, for me, had already packed up leaving F1, so whatever reason they are coming back is just like coming from scratch. So they're starting all over again, which is a huge ask for them, and now they're partnering with somebody they knew and somebody they've always had disagreement with in Andre Newey. Overheating issues we learned because the car engine is not well cooled because of the design. Andre Newey will go more aerodynamic, doesn't care about how your engine cool. My own is I want to design a car to be fast. I think Honda should have thought about that and look for a way to look into the design to check out how they would make cooling more effective, but it was difficult for them because Andre Newey and them Honda did not come to terms with a lot of things. Now it was too late for them. Honda has a pedigree already in Formula 1. They've made mistakes, they've come back, so probably during the season they'll be able to up it up, but it's going to be doomsday for them in the first 2-3 races of the season. But I think Honda can make a comeback. They're a strong team. They know what they are doing, and they've been in F1 for a long time. They are hardworking, and when they get it right, I think Honda can get it right. We saw it with Red Bull. McLaren left Honda, went for Mercedes, and Red Bull started winning races, started doing well. We saw some races in 2017, 2018 in which engine blows up, especially behind Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen doesn't give a. All he does is he gun it down, trying to demand much juice, and the engine will just blow up. And I think those times made Honda really learn that what they need to do, and they did it in accordance in working with Andre Newey. Then they did it. So if Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso can do the same thing Max Verstappen did, blow all the engines up, as in blow everything up, Honda will have sense. They will do something. Bet that, and I know they will do that. Just keep blowing it up. Get a new engine, blow it up. Another one, blow it up. Another one, blow it up. Honda will have sense, and I think Andre Newey too will have. So I think they really need to get on that, because if Aston Martin don't get on that in the first 5-6 races of the season, it's a complete disaster because the season is over for them. Forget about it. The season is over for them. For Audi, I think Audi has done a good job. They've done a very great job. They've been reliable, and I know coming to the season they'll have their own struggles because this is not child's play. This is real F1. They'll have their own struggles, but I think from what we are looking at, they weather it. They might be stronger than Honda probably, but they'll weather it, and if they can weather it straight directly, I think it would be a huge boost for them, for the team. team, especially with their part manufacturers, be a huge boost for them if they can weather it out, and hopefully we'll be seeing some of this technology in Honda's, Volkswagen, Lamborghinis, and some of their products. Hopefully. Another news coming in is Mario Isola has left Pirelli, so he will be taking over as a director of ACI, that's the Automobile Club, the Italia, while somebody else will be coming in respect of Pirelli Motorsports manager. That person will be Dario Marafucci. For me, Mario at this time, he's done a great job. Hopefully he would enjoy the ACI he's moving into, and the new person coming in will be open to ideas and he enjoys his time and everybody keeps moving. That's one of the things we want to see in sports. You are there for some time, you are not there for life. So I hope it's going to be a good turnaround time for him and he enjoys himself as he's moving into ACI. Also, teams are moving into Melbourne. What do you think will happen in Melbourne? Who will win the first race? Everything we've seen in Bahrain is just a show of tests and show of lies. When we get to the first race of the season, that is when we'll see the reality. And no doubt, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, and McLaren are just top of their league. We hope to see more upgrades, we hope to see more, but for me, in no specific order, we cannot say. Melbourne track is different from the China track, so we're going to see differences in the way the car behaves on those two tracks, and it's back to back. We have 3 back-to-back races. It's going to be funny to see that on those 3 tracks, these cars will behave differently. So the first 3 races of the season may not give us where the championship will fall to or who has the best car, because we're going to see different mixtures, and probably we'll see a lot of teams having taken a lot of data into learning. Maybe some of the teams have started developing small turbos, in which we go to Ferrari now. With Ferrari developed a small turbo that will help them in takeoff and on some circuits, but it will help them on some long straights and on some circuits, because those circuits they might need a large turbo. That will be a trade for MG UK, but in MGUH, I think the small turbo will work. But who wins this battle? Will Ferrari also be designing the larger turbo to use in some races, while other teams will design small turbos to use in some races, and see where it fits in? Getting into the race, we'll see that. Will Ferrari still stick to the 180-degree wing or the normal DRS wing they have? For me, I think it depends on the track they are using it, or they are coming up with, in which they'll be using the wings. Also, I think we are still going to see some major improvements in some teams. Some teams will come up with some crazy ideas that will be so different from what we've seen, and it's going to be very interesting. So coming into Melbourne, Australia, we are going to see Formula 1 in a new 2 to 3 years scape of difference, and this will be much of what drivers can do, how energetic these drivers can be, how fast flowing thinking they can apply into the races, and it is going to be very interesting to see what happens in the 2026 season. Flowing to 2027 season, we're going to see a lot of drivers hyping it up, but funny enough, I think 2026 season might be very close to 2025 season in lap times and also in qualifying, because these cars too are fast. It's just a pity that there are no MGUHs. If we have the MGUH, I think it might have made the car more faster, because these cars, even with MGUK, with the power harvesting, they look fast. And I think FIA should also work on the 50-50 rule to make them be able to charge more, have more battery juice, go down and gone down straight, so that they won't be losing power and be clipping. That would erase lift and coast, because a lot of drivers will be doing lift and coast so that they can harvest a lot of energy, which should not help them. For me, I don't want to see any driver doing Ferrari like in 2026, and it's not going to be very interesting. But certainly the new season is going to be very interesting. Catch you guys in the first race in Melbourne. Watch out for the video of preview and prediction of Melbourne GP. Love you guys. Bye. Cheers.